Hi friends, welcome to AWS DevOps sessions. In this session, we are going to learn about Docker Swarm. Here we are going to learn about what is Docker Swarm and where we are going to use this Docker Swarm and what are the advantages we got by use this Docker Swarm. Everything we are going to discuss in this session. First of all, we just need to understand what do you mean by Docker Swarm. Here, Docker Swarm is an orchestration service that can be used to manage and handle multiple containers at a time, and it provides the high scalability and high availability options for the services which I'm going to run over the Docker. As you know, what do you mean by high scalability and high availability? Scalability means it is going to increase or decrease the containers based on the demand, and high availability means if any of the service went down, it is going to replace the service with immediate effect without downtime. Because of these features, I am going to use the Docker Swarm in order to run my services. How I can be able to run? Here, the Docker Swarm is used to manage containers on multiple servers. It is not going to manage the servers on a single server. It is going to manage servers on multiple servers. And this can be implemented by cluster level. As you know, what do you mean by cluster? Cluster is nothing but group of servers. If I take the group of servers under one roof, that will be called as a cluster. And based on the cluster, I am going to perform the specific tasks. So under the cluster, if I am going to execute anything, that will be run across the cluster. Fine. And in the Docker Swarm, this can be implemented by cluster, and the activities of the cluster are managed by the Docker Swarm manager. And what are the task which has been processed by the Docker Swarm manager, it just need to be obeyed by the entire cluster. What are the missions which are under the Docker Swarm? They need to perform the tasks. Here in the Docker Swarm, we have the mainly some key components are there. Here one of the key component is nodes. What do you mean by nodes? Nodes are nothing but servers that are a part of Docker Swarm cluster. And manager, as we already discussed, the manager nodes are nothing but it is used to share the work among the worker nodes. And what do you mean by workers? Whatever the servers which are connected under the manager node and can be able to perform the specific task or to run the specific server, that will be called as worker nodes. And service, service is nothing but a simple part of a application. It's kind of a simple part or simple feature of an application which we want to run over the containers. Okay, generally what we can run over the containers? Services. Ultimately, services we are going to run over the Docker. Here, if you want to understand in a detail about the Docker Swarm, we are going to perform the lab session on this. Then you will have the better understanding how the process is going on. Okay, let us quickly jump into the AWS console where I am going to create the Docker Swarm cluster. Then you will be able to understand in a detailed way. Here simply type AWS, then click on the first link, sign into the console, and as I already logged in the earlier, so that's why without asking the credentials it is going to log on directly. Click on the EC2 dashboard. Here just check whether I have any running EC2 instance or not. No, I am going to create 3-node cluster. Generally in real time they are supposed to create the 5-node cluster or 7-node cluster, but this is for lab purpose, so that's why I'm going to create the 3-node cluster. Click on launch instance and select the mission type as the image is Amazon Linux 2 because of it is free tier eligible and it didn't have the bugs, so that's why you can choose the Amazon 2023 as well. Because of some bugs, we are going to select the Amazon Linux 2, and here I'm going to select the T2 micro, that's fine, and I'm going to use the key 1 as it is already downloaded over my desktop, and I'm going to use the existing security group which I had already created. The name is docker_sg, and here I'm going to increase the size to 12 GB, and right now I'm going to use the GB2 as a root volume. And here I just want to create 3 nodes. As I already told you now, I am going to create a 3 node cluster. Nodes are nothing but servers. Launch. Then the 3 servers will be launching soon. So once it has been launched, I am going to set to the names. Here I am going to filter running. So here the name is not at all set. I am going to set as manager, and for the second node I am going to set as a worker 1, worker 1, and the third node I am going to name as worker 2. Here we have one manager node and 2 worker nodes. So how I going to make everything from scratch level, I am going to show it to you. First of all, open the SSH client in order to connect to these 3 machines. Here I am going to use mobile external, and first of all we just need to connect to the all the 3 machines from the mobile external client. Just wait. And here I am going to change the data to cd desktop key pair, where my key pair resides, and open this. And first of all I am going to connect to the manager node. So click on connect, SSH client, copy it and paste here. It is going to ask yes or no. Just simply type yes. It is going to log on. In the meanwhile, I am going to connect to the worker 1 as well. cd desktop by key pair, enter, and here go to instance, and right now I just need to select worker 1. Here the worker 1, just click on connect, again copy the SSH client, open the mobile external, paste here, and simply enter the S for this mission as well. Yes, just open the another browser, cd desktop by key pair, enter, and right now I am going to connect to the worker 2 node. So here uncheck it and check the worker 2, click on connect, copy it, enter, enter yes. Then you will be able to connect to the missions. Here just check, yes, right now you had been successfully able to connect to the all the 3 servers. The first one 30.210 is the manager node. Just check, go to the instance dashboard and just click on the manager. What is IP? 30.210, it's a master node, and worker 1 24.197, 24.197, yes. Obviously the third machine is worker 2 only. So at a time, if I want to execute the command, at a time it needs to be executed on all the 3 nodes. So that's why I'm going to select multi-execution mode. Here I'm going to log on all the missions as a root user, sudo -i, and here I just need to install the Docker service. What is the command to install the Docker service? Install docker -y. It is going to install the Docker service on your mission. Once the Docker service has been successfully installed, what is the further thing I need to do? I just need to start the Docker service. So the command is systemctl start docker. Yes, successfully it has been started. So if I want to check the status, whether it is in the running state or not, enter. Here if you go down, go up, have to check it is active running. Here in this active running, here in this active running. Fine. Successfully you had installed the Docker service on all the 3 missions, and it has been successfully running on all the 3 nodes. just exit from the multi-execution mode, just log on to the manager node. Here just remember this IP 172.31.3210. This is the manager IP. Fine. So first of all, I just want to initialize the Docker Swarm cluster. The command to initialize the Docker Swarm is Docker Swarm init hyphen advertise hyphen addr space. Here what is the IP address? 172 dot. Here you can observe what is the IP. This is the IP now. Enter the same IP here. 31.30.210. Have a look at Docker Swarm init hyphen advertise addr, and this is the manager node IP. Just enter it. It is going to generate one link. Suppose if I want to make any server as a worker node under this manager node, what I need to done here is I simply just need to copy this command, and this command need to be run over the which server I just want to add as a worker node. Just copy it. Okay. Fine. So here just type docker node ls in order to check how many servers are connected. Here are you able to see only one node? Here the node is nothing but manager node. You don't have any other nodes which is right now part of a swarm cluster. So what the thing I need to done? I just need to execute the command here. Docker swarm. Here had observed this node joined as a swarm as a worker. Right now the worker one is joined in a swarm as a worker. I am going to add the worker 2 as well. This thing had mentioned miss. So again I just need to copy this. Okay. Here I'm going to enter. So had observed this, the worker 2 is also joined in a swarm as a worker. Here if you type earlier, if I type the docker node ls, it is going to display only one node because of earlier the two nodes is not a part of the swarm. So that's why the only single node is displayed, which is nothing but manager node. But right now it is going to display three nodes. Docker node ls. Is the three nodes has been displayed or not? Yes, obviously it has been displayed. For example, if any node has been added as a worker, but I just want to move the particular node out of the swarm. What is the command? Docker swarm leave. Here the node left the swarm. Here right now the node 1 or worker 1 is not a part of the swarm. It just exit from the cluster. If you want to check the same, again execute the same command, docker node ls. Right now it is going to show the worker 1 node is in the down state. So here again I just want to add this server. My opinion has been changed. Again I just want to make the node, I just want to add the server. So again I just need to run this token. Okay, just copy it and just run here. Enter. Again it is going to, again the server worker 1 node has been joined in the swarm as a worker. If you type the command docker node l here, it is going to display the four things along with the, actually we have the three nodes, but it is going to show four. One is in down state and the remaining three are in the active state. Just check whether it is going to show in the same or not. Docker node ls. Yes. Here the 3 is in active state and 1 is in down state. But I just want to remove the server which is in the down state. So as it is not required, I just do not want bother about the down nodes. So the command is docker node remove the id. What is id? Here it is id. Yes, enter. If I type the command again, docker node ls, just check whether I have three running nodes are there. One is manager node and the remaining two are the worker nodes. Fine. So suppose if I want to join, as you know, if I have the one command, one token, if I going to run this token on the server, automatically that particular server or node will be joined into Swarm as a worker node. But here my requirement has been changed. I just want to add the manager. Instead of adding worker node, I just want to add the manager node to the Swarm. How I can be able to generate the, how I can be able to look over the manager node. So token, manager token. Here if you want to check the same, docker swarm join hyphen token manager. If you type here, you can be able to see the, to add a, here had observed is to add a manager. Whatever the, if I have one server, if I want to join the server as a manager, by running this command, automatically that particular server will be joined in the Swarm as a manager. Here my requirement has been changed. I just want to add the server. I just want to get the token to join as a worker. Simply type. By running this command over the any node, it makes that particular node as a worker node for the Swarm. In this way, we can be able to run either manager token or worker token on the targeted nodes where we want actually. Fine. Up to now, we had successfully created the Docker Swarm. So my requirement is I just want to run the service. I just want to run the service. How I will be able to create the service and at the same time I can be able to run the service. Here the command is what we want to run, docker service create hyphen name. Here I am going to create two services. I am going to take examples as the most competitive right now, Uber and Rapido. So first of all, I am going to take Uber and hyphen replicas. As I already told to you now, it is going to provide high availability and high scalability. So by using the replicas, it is going to provide the high availability. Replicas means 3. Means at any point of time, it is going to maintain 3 containers to run the service. And here I am going to publish 80 semicolon 80 HTTPD. This is the web service. And the here publish 8080 means the first 80 stands for container port number and the second 80 stands for the service port number for image. Here we have Docker service. I am going to create the service. The name is Uber and it is going to replicate it in 3 times. Means if any server went down because of some issue, automatically at any point of time it is going to run the 3 containers and it is published over 8080. It for the first 80 is the container port number and the second 80 is service port number for the image. And here I am going to run the service HTTPD. It is kind of front-end web server. Enter. Just check whether it is going to create or not. So once it has been successfully created, I can be able to check the verify service converged. Yes, the service converged verified. Yes, successfully the service has been converged. So if I want to check the same, Docker, what I had created, the Docker service ls. Here I have the service Uber, I have the service name Uber and this is the container ID and I had replicated 3 times. So as I mentioned, the replicated 3 times means 3 containers need to run. Just check docker ps-a. It is going to show the container. Here it is also, here also it is going to create the container docker ps-a. Had I created any container in this? worker 1 node? No. But by executing the command over the manager node, it is automatically going to create the container, that the container is going to run over the worker 1 node. Here we have the same container, docker ps-a. Okay, right now we have the three containers are there. In manager 1 we have the one container, in worker node 1 we have the one container, in worker 2 we have the one more container. Total three containers are running for the same service. Here you just need to understand what is the purpose of Docker Swarm. If I want to run the same service over the multiple containers which are running over the multiple servers, I am going to use the Docker Swarm. Clearly understand, Docker Swarm is used to create the same service over multiple containers which are running over multiple servers. Hope you guys understood. And here at any point of time, what I told, at any point of time, it just need to run the three containers at a time. Yes or no? Yes. Suppose I am going to down the one of the container. Here I am going to down it. Here docker stop container ready. Just check. It is going to stop the container. You have the only one container which is currently running in the manager node. And if I stop this container, what will happen? Just check whether it has been stopped or not. Docker ps-a. Yes. The ID which I had mentioned has went into the exited mode. But immediately the another service has been created because of I had mentioned the replica. Because of the replica, it is going to immediately create the another container. This is nothing but high availability. Hope you guys understood. Fine. So if I want to check the how many containers are running for the service Uber, how I can be able to check? Docker service ps Swiggy or Uber. Here I am going to use the Uber application. Uber. It is showing three containers. Uber 1, Uber 2. Because of I had mentioned replicas 3, so that's why it is going to run 3 containers at a time. Here I am going to run some another service here, but as I had already running, what I am going to running HTTP service now. So if I want to check the same, my requirement is just check the same. So here I am going to click on manager, just copy the public IP, just paste here, and what is the port number I am used? What is the container port number? 80. Here just you will be able to see the some default page of HTTPD. Yes, if it is what we get, it works. Means HTTP service has been successfully running. Fine. Suppose if I want to install another service, how I can be able to run it? Here, again, you just need to run the same command. So I am going to use the previous command which I had run. Yes. Here, Docker service create -- name. Here I am going to create the one more service. The name of the service is Rapido. And I am going to use the same replicas 3. And here earlier the port number is 80. I just want to modify as 81 because of I am not supposed to use the same port number for the multiple containers. It makes a conflict between the containers. So that's why in order to avoid that, I am going to change the container port number. But the service port number for the image has been remained changed. So here instead of installing the HTTPD service, I am going to use Nginx. As you observed, the HTTPD and the Nginx are the web servers which are used to test the front end. Here by executing this command, what will happen? It is going to create the service named Rapido with replicas 3, and it has been published over the port number 81, and the image is and the service which is Nginx. Enter. Just check. It is going to create the 3 containers. Just wait. And if I want to check how many containers are running for the specific service, what is the command? Docker service PS Rapido. Here I just want to check the Rapido. How many services? We have 3 services. And if I want to check the service, Uber, yes, 3 services because of I had mentioned the replicas 3 only. Had I observed it? So if you want to check the same, if I just want to confirm it, I don't have the trust on it. So I just want to check whether the Nginx server is successfully running over my containers or not. Just simply take the IP and what is the port number I had used? 81. Enter. How do you get the display? Welcome to Nginx. Means the Nginx service has been successfully installed over the container and it is successfully running. Without running, we can't get the page. If we get the page, it is an indication we have successfully deployed. In this way, we can be able to create the servers and the Docker Swarm, and we can be able to run the service over the Docker Swarm. And at the same time, if I want to check the logs, so there are some things are there. There are something issue went on with the cluster or the service. At the time, in order to troubleshoot it, I just need to get the information now. So how I can be able to do that? So with the help of logs. So how I can be able to get the logs? So here I am going to show to you how I can be able to check. And before going to that, we just need to understand what do you mean by Docker Swarm and Docker Compose. What is the basic difference between? So Docker Swarm, if I have the one service that need to be executed on all the containers, I am going to use the Docker Swarm. But if I want to run and build a number of containers for the single application in a single server, there I can be using the Docker Compose file. And if I want to check how many services are running on my nodes, the command is docker service ls. It is going to list the services which are running over my server. Here right now I have the 2 services, Rapido and Uber, and it is both are going with the replicas 3, and Rapido is using the image Nginx, and Uber is going to use the image HTTPD, and the port number of Rapido is 81 and the Uber port number is 80. Okay, fine. Suppose if I want to remove the service, I had successfully completed my work with the particular service which I had installed. I had done the work with that particular service. I just want to remove the service. What is the command? Docker service remove Uber. If I enter the command docker service ls, right now it is going to display only one service because of one of the service has been removed. Just check. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Obviously, one service has been removed. It is going to show only one service, that is nothing but Rapido. If I want to remove the service of Rapido as well, how can I be able? Docker service rm Rapido. Enter. Yes. Enter. Right now, there are no services which are running on my server, as I had already removed the 2 services which earlier running on my servers. But currently I had removed all the services which are running on my server. Okay, hope you guys understood. And generally in real time we are going to prefer a 5-node cluster or 7-node cluster, but this is the for practical session or for lab purpose. I just made 3-node cluster only, but in real time we mostly use 5-node cluster or 7-node cluster. And I hope you guys understood this session. Thank you so much guys for watching my videos, and at the same time please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Immediately whenever I had uploaded any kind of new content, you will get a notification. And at the same time, do not forget to share with your friends as well. Definitely these videos will become help to them, I'm sure. And thank you so much guys for watching and supporting. And I will with this I had completed the session, and I will meet up you in the next session with a new topic. Until signing off, thank you, bye bye.